Decoration, and I'm here today to share with you my first design team project using this really cute paper line Echo Parks America that I got in my design team package for Country Craft Creations. I made this really super cute box with a mini album in it, and the box is super cute because it actually has little fireworks decorations on the front, kind of a 3D kind of thing that I did with the paper line. So anyways, I want to show you this really quick. I did do a run through with this to share with you how this album looks, but we'll go ahead and go through it again really quick. The box, if we take the album out here, the box is just a simple box, but it's nice and reinforced. It's made all out of cardstock, and it is using the 6x6 paper pad. That's the sole paper that I used for this. I did use artisan cardstock in Kraft and Brown, and I had to use the brown a little bit to mat the cards or the pattern paper because it is only 6 inches wide, and the box itself is 6.5. But you can go ahead, and if you wanted to use another, you know, like 12 by 12 paper and cut it bigger, and then you only have to do the one mat. But I think that's what I'm going to do in tonight's video, because see what I need to do when I filmed the tutorial originally, I totally forgot to hit the record button. So we're going to use some different papers tonight, but we're going to make the same album. So I apologize for that. But this album has a chipboard fireworks little thing on the front to decorate it, and I use these star rhinestone pieces to kind of simulate the fuse, and I've got another idea for the one we're going to create tonight. But all these papers again were from Country Craft Creations, and these were in my design team package. I got the 6x6 paper pad, which is what I'm using for tonight's project. I built this specifically to use the 6x6 pad. And then I also got some 12 by 12 papers, which I've got a really nice project in the works that I will be sharing with you really soon. Album is a simple album, but it's really cute. It has a lot of room to put lots of pictures for your 4th of July celebrations. The other thing that when I was creating this project, this would be really cute in birthday paper because these would turn into birthday candles. This would also be cute in Christmas paper because these could be Christmas candles. So there's a lot of different things that you could do with this. So this box is decorative, holds the album, but you could also use it like on your 4th of July picnic table to put napkins in. You could put your plastic forks and stuff in, whatever, to and make a bunch of them, and then you have lots of little storage things and decorations to use for your party. So again, birthdays and Christmas it would work too, because you just have to change the papers and voila, you did that. So let's get the box out of the way. We'll go through the album real quick. I used one of the mini cut aparts from the paper pad for the title of it, America the Beautiful, backed it with red, white, and blue artisan cardstock. And then these were some of the die cuts, put some flat back gems that I had in my stash, and then my last red rhinestone star that I had. It opens up, and it's simple, but it has lots of room. There's a pocket here, there's a triangle or angled pocket here. Here you have a waterfall, and I did the closure specifically so that I could use the regular size 3x4 cut aparts on it. And then you have this waterfall. I put pattern paper on the front, left everything else blank so that you could put lots of pictures. This measures 5 by 3.5, so you can put lots of pictures there. Here's a simple pocket here. There's a belly band here, another waterfall, and just like the other one, and then another corner pocket. So as you can see, it's kind of a symmetrical album when you look at it. So I kind of did everything the same. This middle part here uses the same papers, but I did a little different style on each side. So, and then the other thing is that all of these hold tags 4.25 by 4.25 squares, and then 3.25 by 4.25. So you could put 4x4 and 3x4 pictures on these, and it will hold a ton. So again, we're going to make the box and the album tonight, and I'm going to use different papers because I messed up and yeah, didn't record the actual tutorial like I thought I did. So let's get started with that. I'm going to put this off to the side, and the first thing we're going to do is grab the stuff for the box. Now, the other thing I want to let you know is I will go through all the scoring and the cutting and all that stuff in the tutorial tonight, but I will have everything listed in the description, and then on my blog I will have a cutting guide so that you can go ahead and see how to cut your cardstock. So we use the minimal amount of cardstock. So for this project, I'll tell you right here, for this box here, I used 2 pieces of Kraft and 2 pieces of brown, and then the pattern paper to cover it. And then for the album itself, it uses 5 pieces of white, and that includes the white tags, and then I used 2 pieces of red and 2 pieces of blue to create the tags. So that will also all be listed. So you could do the tags and stuff obviously in any color you want, totally up to you. All right, so let's get started with the box. Let me get the papers here. You're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock. One's going to be 11 by 11.5, which is this big one here, and then 3.5 by 5. So I've got a little piece here. And then the pattern paper for tonight, and I'm not going to double mat it because I use 12 by 12 papers for my stash. But you will need 4 that are 3 7/8 by 6 3/8 if you're going to do it this way. And if you're going to do it the way that I did it and use 6 by 6 papers, this measurement was all the brown cardstock, okay? So the brown cardstock, and then you put the pattern paper on top of it. So 4 at 3 7/8 by 6 3/8, 4 at 3 7/8 by 2 3/8, and then 2 at 6 7/8 by 2 3/8. Okay, so I'm going to just leave that there, and then we're going to grab our scoreboard, and we're going to do some scoring, and the scoring is really easy. So first off, let's start by putting the 11 by 11.5 piece in the scoreboard and on the 11-inch side up at the top, and we're going to score it at 5. Oops, my Post-it note. All right, and 4.5, and that's all you're going to do. And then we're going to turn it, and then you're going to score it in a couple different places. All the way down, you're going to score at 5.5, and then you're going to score at 4.5 all the way down, and then you're going to score at 7 all the way down. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back, and so the 2 score marks that go all the way down, we're going to go a 1/2 inch on either side, and we're going to score just to this middle score line that should line up at 4.5 on your scoreboard, okay? So we're going to just go to 7.5, and we'll score all the way down to that middle score line here, okay? And then we're going to go to 4, and we're going to go down to that score line there, okay? So that's all the scoring that we're going to do, and then what we're going to do is we're going to cut these sections out, and that's going to help create the box. These 1/2 inch extra scores that we made are going to actually be tabs to create the pocket. So once we get that done, we'll score this one really quick. The 5 by 3.5, you just simply score it 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. Okay, so at 1/2 and 4.5, and then turn it, and you can do 1/2 and 3.5. Okay, so we'll get the scoreboard out of the way, and then we'll do some cutting here. So we're going to miter the corners here. This is the 6.5 inch by 4 triangle. We're going to miter those 2 corners, top and bottom. And then we're going to go down here. We're going to miter this right here, and we're going to turn, and no, take that back. We're going to miter that, and then we're going to cut it, and we're going to cut it all the way up, and we're going to go through that 1/2 inch score, just cut it all the way up to the score line that runs straight across. Then we'll go ahead and turn this, and we're going to miter at this 2.5 inch mark here. We're going to miter that, and then we're going to miter that little tab that we created, and then cut down that score. So that's basically just giving us a visual of where to cut. And then we're going to miter that. Okay, So right now, if you're looking at it like this, you should have the 6.5-inch pieces up here. You're going to have a 1/2-inch tab here and here. We're going to fold those down to reinforce edges. And this tab here is going to attach to the box to fix it. This tab up here will reinforce the edge to this. So we're just going to simply cut that, miter it, and then we're going to miter again. And then we're going to cut up that score line. That's going to be our tab that attaches. I'm going to turn it. I'm going to miter this. And then I'm going to cut all the way up and cut that out. Okay, so we should have a piece that looks like this, and you're going to have these two pieces that are going to be cut completely out. Okay, and we don't need those to set those aside. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our little small piece here, and we're just going to miter all 4 edges. And because I'm using these as tabs and as reinforcements for the top and the bottom, I am not going to do it like a 45-degree angle and just whack it completely off like that. Okay, I'm going to leave some of the tab, some more of the tab intact. So we're going to fold and miter all of our score lines. And then I'm going to take my art glitter glue here, and I'm going to, on the long end here, I'm just going to add some glue, and then I'm going to fold it. It's going to fold, you know, obviously to the inside, and then that way that will help reinforce the edge of the box. So it'll give a little bit more stability, a little bit more strength. Okay, now I'll put that aside, and then we're going to do the same here. We're going to fold and burnish all of our score lines. Like that. Those little 1/2-inch tabs that I just folded, these are going to just get glued down and reinforce the edge, okay? And then now you can kind of see where that extra piece is going to go. It's going to go on the other side to create the side of the box. So it only takes, you know, 2 pieces of cardstock to create this box. Okay, so let's add our glue to these tabs here. I was so, irritated with myself when I found out that I had done the whole tutorial and I did not hit record. I was just like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. That made me crazy. I haven't done that trick yet, so yeah, that was a little distressing, to say the least. But I'm gonna make another one now. So, all right, and I didn't want to use the papers for the design team, in the design team package, because I have a couple other projects I need to make. So that's why I'm using some stuff out of my stash to show you how it all goes together. We won't pattern the whole thing, but I will show you the definite, you know, stuff that you do have to put pattern paper on until you can finish the page. So it'll make sense in a minute. So on this extra 1/2-inch tab here, we're just going to put a little glue on here, and we're going to line it up to the fold there. We're going to glue that down, and then that's going to finish our box for us. Okay, so this box will fold up, the tabs will go in, and then that will create our box. Now the next thing we're going to do to make it a lot easier on ourselves is we're going to pattern some of these pieces. So these tabs will attach to this. So we're not going to cover these two yet on the inside, but we are going to cover this side, and then we're going to cover this. And I'm just using one piece of paper for this, and then we're going to turn it over and we're going to cover the whole back side. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to hit I'm going to go ahead and cover this, and then when we're done, we'll come back, because you don't need to see that part. But, and then we'll come back and finish putting the box together. Okay, I'm back, and I have covered the outside completely, and then on the inside I've just done the 2.5-inch strip here and covered that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually just create the box structure. So we're just going to add glue to the tabs and then fold the sides up. Let's get this one here. Okay, and then you're just going to fold this up and match the corners. Stick that down. Fold that up, and then I just like to turn it to its side and then stick that down. Make sure you got a good stick. Alright, and then real quick, I'm just going to go ahead and put down the other piece of patterned paper and cover the inside of the box. Now with artisan cardstock and, you know, nice patterned paper, it's going to be a sturdy box. If you're using the 6x6 paper, with that extra layer that you're going to have, it's going to be a real nice sturdy box, so even extra sturdy. So you don't really need chipboard for this. You totally could put some lightweight chipboard in here if you wanted to, but you don't have to. Alright, so glue here and glue here. Okay, and then just fold this guy down and repeat the process here. Okay. Simple box construction, but it works really, really well. So the box dimensions again are 6.5 by 4 inches tall by 2.5 inches deep. Okay, here's my last piece of patterned paper. And I'm just going to slide that in my box. Okay. Here we go. Okay. It makes a nice big box. I mean, this would totally be really functional to hold stuff in, you know, for a party or anything. So the box is covered. Now I'll just show you really super quick the box that I made. I covered the outside of the box with the brown cardstock and then the patterned paper. On the inside I just used the brown cardstock. Okay, I didn't put patterned paper on the inside on this one. Okay, so now that our box is done, what we need to do is make our fireworks. So I'm going to put this aside and I'm going to grab the pieces that we're going to use to make our fireworks. And I did 2 of them already because they're all done the same. Get this out of here. Okay, so I had to get a little creative because I didn't have any more of these cute little rhinestones that I used on my fireworks. So I was thinking, what else could you use? You could use buttons, which I did, which I thought turned out really super cute. And then you could also use punches and punch something out. You could get a cut file on your silhouette or your Cricut, and you could do some sort of a wick or something. You could use a whole different number of things to kind of simulate the fuse at the top of these, so it's just whatever you choose to do. Okay, so I decided to go with buttons on this one because I was getting a little creative here. Okay, so I used red, white, and blue cardstock, so you can see. So I have the dimensions here, and again, these are all going to be listed below, but I'll go through them real quick. The red cardstock for the chipboard, for the red firecracker, for the chipboard, you need a 2.5 by 6 inch piece of chipboard, and then you need cardstock that's 1 at 4.5 by 8, and then one that's 2 3/8 by 5 7/8. Okay, so we're gonna wrap these just like we would a book cover, and then we're just gonna mat them on the back so that it covers it up. So that's what we're doing here. The white piece here, the chipboard, is 2 by 5.5, and then the cardstock you need is 4 by 7.5, and then one at 1 7/8 by 5 3/8. And then the blue one, which we're going to do on camera today, we're going to need a chipboard that's 2 by 5. We're going to need a cardstock that is 1 7/8 by 4 7/8, and then a cardstock that's 4 by 7. And then the pattern paper that goes on the front is the same size as the chipboard, or the cardstock piece that you put on the back. We're just going to add that to the front, okay? So I put some scraps of double-sided adhesive on the back here, which this was a good scrap buster because I had a whole sheet of that stuff out, you know, with bunches of different scraps, and it used quite a bit of them up to do these pieces. So this is cut, so there's about 1 inch on either side, and I'm just going to eyeball this here. And then we're going to do the usual thing that we do when we wrap our chipboard covers. I'm going to feel the edge of the the chipboard, and I'm just going to run my bone folder down the side, and that's going to get in my way. And then we're going to do that all the way around. I'm tired. I worked today, and I'm tired, and my back hurts. But we're going to get this tutorial done because it really made me crazy that I didn't get it done for you the other day. So we're going to do that. Okay. So now that I've kind of run my chipboard, or run my bone folder around my chipboard, so now I'm just going to fold it around, kind of work it, okay, just like we were covering a book cover. Makes a nice little 3D element too. It's kind of cute. I thought it turned out pretty cute. Okay. I'm going to use my score tape and go all the way around. My chair's squeaky too, so I'm sorry. I hope it's not driving you nuts. I really need to do something about that. Okay, so we're doing that, and then we're going to grab our scissors and we're going to miter the corners, and just make sure you leave 1/8 of an inch space of cardstock at the end of your chipboard here. I've done this, you know, multiple times. Just make sure you leave at least 1/8 of an inch to cover that chipboard corner. Otherwise, you'll have a piece of that sticking out, and nobody likes that. That would drive me crazy. Okay, so cut those and then take our score tape off. And it doesn't have to be perfect because, again, once we fold this over, we're going to cover it up with some more cardstock. So it's not a big deal. The corners don't have to be perfectly symmetrical. Okay, get rid of that. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the ends here. And I usually do mine top, bottom, side, side. So we'll go ahead and make that happen. Just fold that over. I should use my other dealing mopper there. Okay, and then what I do is I just kind of nudge that little piece of cardstock in over the chipboard. That covers the corner, kind of like wrapping a present, but you don't have quite as much paper. And turn that over like that. Okay, you have a nice covered piece. I'm going to nudge that in. You can use a bone folder if you want to do that instead of your, fingernails. It's all up to you. I just tend to use my fingernails a lot. There we go. All right. Okay. Then we'll go ahead and grab our cardstock to cover the back because it will be visible. And you want that covered up so it just looks neat. So we're going to use that piece. And we'll cover that. Make sure that's down. Okay, and we'll turn it over, and then we're going to put this piece of pattern paper on the front, and that will complete our firework here. And then go ahead and there we go. See, isn't this going to look cute? This is going to look cute too. But again, it's not the papers that I got in the design team package because I used those already. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our, fuse. So I got a button here, and I just put some ribbon through it, and I'm just going to simply glue that on. Add some glue here, and making sure that I get it like right in the middle, kind of ish, sort of ish. There we go. And then just let that dry for a minute. So I'm going to put a clamp on that for just a second, and then I'll show you. So I took the big one, and then I had the second tallest one to the left, and then this one will be to the right. So that's how that's going to look. And then I just overlapped them just a little bit. There wasn't really any measurement to that, just however it looks good. These buttons are a little bit on the big side. I'm probably going to make it a little bit wider than I did the other one, but however it fits, however it looks, whatever you want to do, okay? So then I'm simply going to just put glue down here, and then I'm going to take my piece that I'm going to layer it on, and I'm just going to kind of line that up, make sure that's good, and then make sure that's nice and flat, and then just glue that together. Okay? And then I will take this other one and do the same thing. I'm going to just put a little glue on this edge here. And then I'm going to line this up. Kind of however you like to do it. There, I think I like that. Make sure it's nice and flat. Okay? And glue that on there. Okay, so then what you're going to notice is that you're going to have kind of unlevel or uneven levels. So I'm going to fill in this gap a little bit with some foam tape because I want to make sure that it's nice and flat on the box. So first thing I'm going to do is the box is 4 inches tall. So I'm going to measure just shy of 4 inches. And I'm just going to put a slight pencil line here just so I know how far to go. And that won't show past the edge of the box. Okay, so that's less than 4 inches. Then I'm going to find what I did with my foam tape. And then all I did was just put the foam tape down on either side. To kind of bulk that up a little bit. Because the foam tape, roughly measures the same width as the chipboard. Okay, so that'll help fill, flush to the box too. So it won't have the two ends of the fireworks kind of hanging in the breeze there. All right, so then the next thing is to take the sticky off the tapes. And then I'm going to take my glue and up to that pencil line. And I'm going to add a bunch of glue here. Oh, no I'm not. Oh shoot, you know what I did? Okay, let's do this. I forgot to add the ribbon. Alright, so I got 3 strands of ribbon because I like fluffy bows, and I did that with the seam binding. So I went through my stash and I found these. So let's real quick do this. I'm all tangled up. Okay, so I'm just going to put that kind of roughly in the middle somewhere. Okay, and then let's put a little more glue on here. I almost messed up again. All right. Okay, Then I'm gonna just put this on my box. I'm gonna roughly center it, and then I'm just gonna fold that up, press it down, and press it down from the inside. The tape should stick and the glue should stick, and there we go. Then we're gonna go ahead and we're going to tie a bow wherever you want. You could tie a bow, you could tie a knot, and I think, let's see here. I don't think I have enough for a bow, so let's go ahead and just tie a knot. Because that would be cute too, because they will still fan out and be cute. Okay. Scissors for that. There we go. And there we go. Okay, so there's that. So now you can see we've got, you could put the bow on either side. So I did this one more on the left. I did this one more on the right, but you get the idea. Okay, so there's my two boxes made. So cute little fireworks, red, white, and blue themed. Very, very cute. Okay, so let's put the boxes back and let's start on our book. Now our book is pretty easy to put together. Just need a few things. So for the cover and pages, we are going to need 5 pieces of cardstock that are 6.5 by 6. And then you're going to need a piece of cardstock that's spine that's 2 by 6, just one of those. This is all made out of cardstock. It is not made out of any chipboard whatsoever. And again, when you get it covered with pattern paper, it's going to be perfect. So you're going to take all of your 6.5 by 6 pieces of paper. You're going to put it in your scoreboard 6.5 inch on top, and you're going to score down at 1/2 inch. Okay, excuse me, all 5 papers. Okay, so you need 5 of these, 6.5 by 6, score at 1/2 inch. And then the spine, we're not doing any scoring whatsoever. Okay, and we'll get rid of this. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to grab this guy because I want to. And then, so what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 of these and, or excuse me, 3 of these and set them aside for a second. Those are going to be our pages. These are going to be our front cover and attached to the spine. So I'm going to, real quick, just miter the corners. We're going to put pattern paper on this, so it's going to be okay. So we're going to miter those. And then fold and burnish. Okay, and then we're going to simply just get our glue, put it on these 1/2 inch tabs, and add our spine. Okay, just like that. It looks like I need to trim my spine a little bit because it's a little bit big, or a little bit long, I should say. There we go. Okay. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing to the other side, and that's going to be our cover. Pretty simple to do. Okay. Okay, so we have the cover done, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take our pages and we're going to not miter those. Don't miter these. These are going to lay right onto the spine. Okay, so fold and burnish, and then we're going to lay them down in the spine just like a waterfall. okay? So I'm going to put this here. We're going to start at 1/2 inch. And I'm just lining up my ruler here. And I'm going to draw a faint line just to show me where to mark the first one, okay? And then grab one of your pages, put your glue on, and we're going to start layering them, making sure that we are at that line. And try and line that up really nice and straight. And it looks like I'm going to have to trim that page too. I don't know how I got so off on my cuts. Okay, there we go. Make sure that's stuck down really nice. Okay, then take your second page. We'll line that up against the tab of that first page. Yep, I'm probably gonna have to cut that one too. Good grief. Okay, let's see here. Yep. Just a sliver. Don't know how I did that. That's kind of crazy. But you want your pages all to line up nice, so it's always good to double check that. Okay. Okay. Then the last page, what I usually do, and you can see this is where the tab is, and then I've got a roughly a 1/2 inch space here before the back cover. I'm going to take this tab and I'm going to place it over top of the tab we just laid down, and that's how I cover it. And then I also have a nice folded edge here that matches the nice folded edge here. Okay, so I like to do that just cause it looks pretty and finished. Put the glue on, and then I'm just going to lay that right over the tab of the page we just put down. Okay. Okay. And of course I gotta cut that one too. Oy vey. If I ever get this tutorial done, it'd be a miracle. I don't know why this one's giving me such fits. But isn't that just the way though? Sometimes some of the more simpler projects can cause you the most pain. Okay. So our pages are in. So you have the covers done and then the 3 pages. Okay. Now the cover of, or the pattern paper for the outside here. So I used a 6x6 paper that I cut to 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. And then if we open this up, you'll see the spine. I covered it about 1 inch. I cut this at 4 inches and I punched the edges and then laid it over the top, and then it folded over the spine. So you could do that, or you could just do a strip down the middle and then leave these, you know, full. However you want to do it. We don't have to, I'm not going to cover the outside today because for tutorial purposes I don't, it's not part of the construction, but we are going to have a couple pages. So we're going to have this page here, and we're going to have this page here that we're going to need to cover with pattern paper before we put some of the elements on. So some of the pages we will cover in the video to show that, but the rest of them you can cover after we put the elements on. Okay, so let's start off with, let's see, where is my stuff? Let me grab my stuff here real quick. Let's go to the inside cover and the inside of the inside of the front and the back covers. Okay, so we will need 2 pieces of paper that are 3 by 6.5, and we're going to grab our scoreboard. Oops, sorry. And both of these we're going to score to make a pocket at 1/2 inch turn 1/2 inch turn, and 1/2 inch. So 2 short, 1 long. You're going to do that to both of them. And then you're going to miter the corners on both of them like we always do when we make pockets. Okay, so they will look like that. Okay, just like that. So then we will grab our pattern paper. Let me grab that real quick, because you have to put pattern paper on before you put the pockets on. So we'll grab our book, and on the inside of the front and the back covers, we'll go ahead and lay down your pattern paper. And again, this is cut at 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. So I took 1/8 of an inch off each side, or on 2 sides, excuse me, so that it will be nice and matted on the page. Okay. Where did I put my thingy? Here we go. Okay. All right. Then we'll take our pocket and we'll fold and burnish. Okay. And then we're going to simply add glue to the tabs and put this right on top of the page. And then later on you can come back and you can put pattern paper on this pocket. So then what I did was I just kind of, there's a roughly 1/4 inch all the way around, and there you go. Then when you put the pattern paper on this, it's going to look really super cute. Okay, so we're going to do that to the back cover. Okay, inside back cover. It's all going to be symmetrical because I kind of like that. So you'll notice that we're going to do 2 of these, 2 of the angled pockets, 2 waterfalls, and then we'll have the middle page will be kind of the odd man out. It will be a little bit different, but the papers will be, the papers can be the same. All right, so pattern paper down on the inside back cover. Okay. And then again our pocket like this. Okay. Then we'll put our glue on here. And I'm just eyeballing it here, but it's roughly 1/4 inch. Okay. Make sure we get a good stick here. Okay. So our inside covers are now completed. Okay. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our corner pockets, and our corner pockets are really, really super easy. You need 1 piece of paper that measures 4.5 by 4.5, and so you're going to end up with a piece of paper like this, and then what you're going to do is you're going to cut it from corner to corner to create the 2 triangles. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put it in our scoreboard, and we're going to score it on the 2 sides at 1/2 inch. Okay, so do like that, and then turn it like that, and then do it at 1/2 inch. Okay, so both of those papers will do that. Then what we will do is I'm going to miter the corners, and I'm going to miter this one kind of sharply. So you'll end up with something like that. Do both of those. Now this one here does not need to be, the page does not need to be matted before you put this on, because the paper will slip right through it. This is going to go right at the corner of the book. If you wanted to, you could put the pattern paper on and then, you know, put it in 1/4 of an inch on each side if you wanted to, but I didn't do it for this one. So we'll just go ahead and lay those down, okay, and glue those down, and it's going to go right to the corner. Then when you put the pattern paper in, you'll cut that again at 5 7/8 by 5 7/8, and then when you put it in, it will actually cover these little tabs so that your tags and stuff, when you put them in and out, won't bump on them, you know, how they can do sometimes if you don't have them covered. Okay, so that one goes on the front of the first page of page 1, and then the next one goes on the back of page 3. Okay, so we'll do that again. It's really super simple. And when I was designing this album, like I told you, I was trying to do a 6.5, or you know, a 6x6 book using the 6x6 paper pad, and then I was trying to conserve my cardstock and see, you know, out of the pieces that I had, what I could use and what I could do with it. So that's kind of how this whole album got designed, and I think it worked out pretty good. Sure is a super cute book. Okay, so the pattern paper that you need for this, so you're going to need a couple pieces of a piece of pattern paper, and I'm just going to show you this so that you know how to do it. So you're going to get a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 square, and the reason why you're going to do that is because once you fold all this down, if you measure this pocket, it now becomes 3 1/2 from corner to corner on the pocket. So if you have a 3 1/2 inch triangle pocket, then you're going to need a 3 1/4 inch piece of paper, pattern paper, to cover it. So 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, cut it at the diagonal, and then you're going to have the 2 pieces that you're going to need to cover the pockets. Okay, so I'm going to put those off to the side because we don't need to put those on right now. Let's move on. We've done front of page 1. Let's do the back of page 1. The back of page 1, and let me show you. So far we've made this page and we made this page. So the back of page 1 is going to be our waterfall. So we're going to need a couple things here. We are going to need the waterfall piece here. So you're going to need 6 pages that are 5 by 4, and you're going to need 2 papers that are 3 by 4 1/2, and that's going to be for the closure. You're also going to need 2 magnet sets. Okay, so all of these go in. The closure pieces go in at the 4 1/2 inch, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch. You just need the one score. So those are the closures, and then all of the pages you're going to put in your scoreboard with the 4 inch at top, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, so I've kind of already done that. So then just fold and burnish these guys. Okay, so 3 pages for each one. And then I just used pattern paper to cover the first page and left everything else blank for pictures. You could, you know, cover them all if you wanted to, not a problem. Okay, so let's grab our paper here. I have this kind of all lined up here. Okay, so we have our paper. We're going to need 3 pages, and we're going to need 1 closure. So the first thing we're going to do is put the closure down at the bottom. Just add glue to the tab, and I'm going to grab my centering ruler, and I'm going to center the page so I can center this and pop that down, easy peasy. Okay, make sure that's down really well. And my desk is turning into a nightmare here. All right, then pattern paper goes on top so that we can cover that tab up. So we'll go ahead and put this pattern paper down. Okay, so you will have to put the pattern paper down before, you know, you do anything else, because the pages will sit on top of that. Okay, so then the first page, it'll show you here real quick. The first page measures down at 3/4 of an inch from the top of the page, okay, and about 1/2 an inch on each side. So you will need to do a little wee bit of measurement here, but what we're going to do is we're going to set this to where the 3/4 inch mark, and we got to center it. So let's make sure that's centered. Okay, and we'll grab our page and we'll put the first one down. Okay, so this should line up right out there. Okay. All right. First one down. And then we'll take our other ones and just do the same thing that we did with the pages. First two go down like normal, and then the third one, I will put the tab over the tab of the previous page. So line that up. Like that. Okay, third tab. Okay. Then I'm just going to put that over the tab of the page we just put down. Okay. That should line up nice and neat. There we go. Okay. So those are down and they are ready to go. You see how nice that is? You have a nice big picture here for, or nice big piece of page for another picture there. So go like that. And then we're going to set the magnet. And we will do the next one. Okay, so make sure that you look and see about where you want your magnet. See how much room you have. This one, it gives you quite a bit of room to put that magnet. And then we're going to take that tape off. We'll put that down, set our magnet, and take it off, and then I'll put a little piece of score tape over it. Okay, and then voila, we're done. So we just need to put our pattern papers on now. You can go back and do that later. So we're going to do that again on the front of page 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that really fast, and I'm going to quit talking, and I'll fast forward it so that you could just see the process fairly quickly. Okay. Okay, so we've got the waterfall pages done. Now we just have to do the middle page. So the middle page is super simple. You don't have to put anything down first as far as pattern paper goes until you're done with putting the pieces on. So let's go ahead and do that. So you're going to need one piece that's a belly band and one piece that's a pocket. The belly band, well actually the front of page 2, so this middle page here is the pocket, and it'll be 3.5 by 7, and we're going to put that in our scoreboard, and we're going to score at a half on the 3.5 inch side, and then at half on the short side here, and then you turn it around on the short side and do half. So it's 1/2 inch on the 2 short and 1 long. And then, so that's the pocket. And then the belly band is a piece that's 1 3/4 by 7. And this one here, you just put in at the 7, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch on each end. So at half and at 6.5. Okay. And we're just going to stick those down. Super simple. All right. So let's do this. This is going to go on the back of that page, the belly band. And then we're going to have our pocket. We're going to miter again. And get that done real quick. So we mitered all of our corners. We're going to do that. Do that. And do that. Okay. So we'll grab our book. This is the big pocket. It's a vertical pocket, so it's going to go up the side of the page. So I'm just going to add my glue. And then once you're done with the pocket being put on, then you can go back and put the pattern paper in and put it in so it covers the tabs here. So I'm just going to turn my book here and lay it down on the edges here. Just line that up. A nice big sturdy pocket. And I know when you make this, you're going to see, I mean, how sturdy this book is. It's crazy sturdy. I like it. Okay, so our pocket, and then on the back of that, we're just going to add our belly band to the center. Just real super simple. And then put your pages together with your pattern paper. So again, this book is super cute for 4th of July, for barbecue, picnic, all that kind of stuff. If you make it in birthday patterns, you could make it in Christmas patterns. This book has a lot of potential. You could whip up a ton of these, and these would make really, really cute Christmas presents. You could do all kinds of different themes with this, but they're really super simple. They're really super cute. If you just did... you know, you could do it without the box, you could do it with the box. So it's just, there's a lot of ways you can do this. Okay, so belly band has been created. Okay, so let's look through our book. So we got the cover. Again, you're going to cover this with pattern paper. You're going to do the spine however it is you want to do it. I think what I'm going to do is do again the 4 inches and do some decorative edges, and then put that over across the top, and then that'll cover the whole entire spine, and then that'll also help reinforce it. So then cover your page. Then on the inside of the front cover, you're going to have this nice pocket here. Then you're going to have this page here with a corner pocket. Okay, turn the page. You're going to have this nice waterfall feature that you can decorate however you want. You can decorate all the pages or just the one like I did. You're going to have this big pocket here. You're going to have a belly band here, and then another waterfall page, another corner pocket page, and then another horizontal page here. So this book will hold a ton, but that's how you put it together. If you want to do a tie closure, which I did not because it was in a box and keeping it closed, but if you wanted to do it without the box and do a tie closure, add that before you add the pattern paper to the front of your album. Or you could punch, you know, a little hole and thread ribbon through that, however you wanted to do that. But that's something you'll have to think about if you want to do that. So the tags themselves, and again, all of that will be listed in the descriptions, are a variety, you know, the red, white, and blue colors, and there's some of both sizes, and each pocket has a red, white, and blue tag, and they might be in different configurations as far as if they're 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 or 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. So anyways, you can put more in there, but I used 3 because of the red, white, and blue theme. I thought that was really cool. So each piece has one of those, and then you've got your waterfall. So that is our book. So I hope you enjoyed the video. please, if you have any questions, please let me know. Again, I'm sorry that I messed up on the very first run through with the tutorial, but this is our book and it's super cute and I think you're going to really like it. And again, it would be great for that 4th of July picnic. It's going to be great for, you know, capturing that day and the memories. And now that things are opening up, maybe we can all get together as families and we can have fun and, you know, celebrate and document. So, make some albums. Go to countrycraftcreations.com. Get your artisan cardstock. Get your chipboard. Get your paper. This is again, excuse me, Echo Parks America, and it's really, really cute. This took almost an entire 6x6 pad to make with all of the decorations here, but super cute and super worth it, and I hope you like it. So anyways, let me know if you have any questions, and thank you again for watching. Take care. Have a good day. Have a good evening, and I will see you soon with another project. Bye-bye.